healer, but that is what they decide to go back to. It does feel a bit weak, though, into the Void and Bat Rider, I've got to say.
Yeah, yeah, it's it. There are a few holes there for 496. I do agree with you. It's pretty weak against the Void and Bat. I think this might just be a comfort pick for Rusman. I remember watching a lot of Rusman Lifestealer way back in the day. Of course, that was when Maelstrom was a bit stronger as well. So that was way back, but it can still be effective. We've seen it do work. I think the laning phase is a bit more stable when you have this Lifestealer, so you don't worry about gank opportunities coming out here too much. I'm surprised that 496 themselves ban out the LC, so they don't have any tool to break that lasso up safely besides glimpsing back the bat, and that is their best chance of breaking that lasso off from you. We'll see what develops. They're probably looking for a mid hero here, maybe one of the Spirit Brothers to get themselves a natural vehicle for the Lifestealer, perhaps even something like a Quap or Puck just to have that initiation on hand as well. All viable options. They've got a lot of work to put in here. Hung, he didn't have a bad time in the first game. I think he was off to a pretty fantastic start. I think you want to maintain that if you're 496.
That's the thing, right? Like, they did have a great start on that Monkey King, but it just never translated to anything in the mid to late game. He's got to try and have a bit of a better game this time around. And interestingly enough, 496 are the ones to ban out the LC on their end of things now, this last ban stage. Couple more to go, 17 seconds reserve time for 496, so not much time to think about this one. They're looking for some kind of... Who knows what they're even trying to ban now. Like, the Night Stalker gets removed, but it's like the Snapfire could be mid, the Bat Rider, the Earth Spirit, any of them could be mid. You don't know what role you're banning anymore. New Esports, their final ban out. Does seem like they are still lacking a mid hero for 496. Theirs seems to be a lot more obvious.
I'd say a Storm would be a safe ban out. Just again, taking out the Lifestealer vehicle. They already yeah, there you go. Storm ban out. No Lifestealer vehicle here except for a Quap.
Yep.
Or an Ember. I don't know about the Ember against Bat faces Void. That's also dicey. So I think the Quap is the best choice you've got. Plays nicely with the aggression of the Mars and the team fight you get with the Disruptor Winter Wyvern. You can play on top of that Quap. Just play very quick for Hung.
Final pickup now for 496.
5 seconds remain.
So we need this mid pickup now. 5 seconds left to make the pick.
Radiant's turn to pick.
Okay, they'll go for the Pugna, which is fairly interesting. We haven't seen much of it. Obviously, the Decrepify is quite nice into the Void. And it does play fast. I don't really see too many other reasons for it, though, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's just a Void counter. I think it's the Decrep, maybe the push you get. It's not a vehicle. Like there's just no vehicle for the Lifestealer here. That's a bit of a concern. We tend to see a Clockwork with the Lifestealer, or the Storm, or the Puck, or the Quap. So it's going to be a bit of work to get Rustman to the front lines. I think that's one cause of concern. New. They see the Pugna. That's more than likely mid. I think you're happy with either the Earth Spirit or Snap mid. I think you can definitely run with either one, even the Bat Rider mid. That might be a bit dicier, but can still work. I mean, you said it, but it's pretty confusing as to what New Esports wants to close out with. The only thing I know they lack is like a dedicated 5, but you could kind of go greedy with your supports here as well.
True. They'll spend a bit of time thinking about this one. I do believe they still want some kind of like stronger mid for New Esports. You probably don't want to run Snapfire into Pugna, because you will probably take a lot of Nether Blasts, as your attack range is quite short. But no, there's a Bounty Hunter out now. I don't know, John. I don't know what New Esports is up to. They've got a Bounty Hunter out. Yamate's going to play the support bounty. All right, so we saw the position 1 Bounty Hunter out of Boom Esports. But Yamate is going to play the support Bounty Hunter, and with this kind of draft, they can really take off with those track kills if they get going.
Yeah, they certainly can. I love the snowball potential coming out here. I'm 496. I think they've got to be playing on point. There's a lot more pressure in them to land their spells as a counter fight coming in. support bounty with a Batrider support as well, Mike. That's pretty greedy though from you.
It
So
is.
they've got to space this one out. This is something 496 can play against now. They can punish the greedy supports. They have a good position to get their own snowball starting here. Their lanes are pretty potent with the Disruptor Winter Wyvern going around with their cores. New Esports has to be a bit cautious in the early game. There are ways to play around this, and I have to say that that Batrider mount, Mike, it's disgusting.
It is pretty revolting. Haven't seen that one before, I'll be honest, John, and probably a good reason why is because of how it looks. It's a scary one. Not as revolting as the Earth Spirit set, though, John. Also pretty revolting. We don't have any alternatives, though, which is the difference.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it could be worse, right? You could have the actual like stone head, the Aztec head. That one's just, you know. I'd say this is better. This is a step up, at least, Mike.
It is.
At least, and yeah, I mean, we know what both sides want to do now. Kind of went over it. I have to say it's disappointing Yamate has no sets in the bounty. That guy has a lot of bling. It's a very default look for Yamate. He's keeping it simple. You know, he wants to show off with his plays, Mike, not with his looks.
Well, that new Bounty Hunter set looks really nice, the one we recently received, but we don't get to see it on Yamate.
Yep.
Still, we'll see how well he performs in this support Bounty Hunter. It's been such a long time since we've seen something like this come out. It's hard to imagine it doing too much work, but again, if you do just get the tracks off, it can be enough to be effective. Like, that's all that's required. I'm just going to track people, give gold to my team, I'll throw a shuriken here and there, maybe scout out with my invis. That's all he needs to do.
Yep. Pretty much. He just needs the EXP to get that done. And he sets himself up well here. I mean, you start with the Boots of Speed, you move at 360. Neither of the supports of 496 are quick at all. In fact, neither of them are. No boot starts for either of these supports. So whoever goes top, well, you're going to be copying right clicks from a bounty. And if Yamate starts with that Janata first, you're going to lose a lot of gold in the process.
True. I believe Yamate will be focused in on just trying to snipe some couriers on this Bounty Hunter to get started. Which is why that ward is so strong, the one he did just place. Just be annoying as possible, right? Like, that's what the Bounty's really good at, is just be annoying and pesky.
Yep. That's the game plan. And we'll see how far Yamate can push it, of course. They are starting to drag your lanes out. They actually put red up top. They're putting the Mars up against that lane of Yamate and Candy Loon. I think that's one way to mitigate the impact of the snap. You put something super tanky in front. Red, by the time he hits a level 4 with maybe 1 value point in the bulwark, is going to have a bit of a better time there. They're also dragging up Bombi. So the only worry here is Bombi, the Winter Wyvern again, that moves at 285. Yamate moves at 360. If he just wants to go for the Janata play, you're not going to get too much done here as the Winter Wyvern.
No, you're not. Red for now is just going to dance around in circles. Yamate did go for the Janata, and he'll just keep whacking away on Red. You'll have Bombi coming in to help out a bit. Red's going to need it. In that mid lane, Hung, and DDZ are going to be up against each other. Bit of a switch up here, but the Earth Spirit is mid up against the Pugna. He does roll straight into Hung. I suppose if you are aggressive enough up against this Pugna, you can dish out quite a bit of damage, and of course the Nether Blast is only going to get worse as time goes on in terms of its damage output. So DDZ, he's going to get as much harass out as possible early on.
Yeah, it's a fairly even lane for both sides. I think the power spikes line up pretty nicely. You're not going to stop the Pugna for the most part from getting these last hits. But DDZ shouldn't struggle too much as long as he watches his spacing. So we'll see how it unfolds. Have to say, first time seeing the Pugna Immortal as well. So we'll see how the life drain looks down the line. It looks really funny though, that one. It's bigger than the hero model. It looks so dumb. So dumb.
They do end up tipping Rusman. No, not even him. It's the Dat Baby Disruptor up towards that top lane, and they're going to leave Rusman down bot by himself. Yamate is going to make his rotation over on the bounty now as well. So the lifesteal is kind of stuck here on his own at the moment. Not sure about this from 496. Seems like a bit of a losing strategy, if anything. But Mosin, top lane, is going to get picked off. So it does pay off for now. And Bombi will take the kill on the Wyvern. But are they really going to leave this Lifestealer to be by himself this whole time? No, Bombi will TP back.
Alright, looks like a lane swap for the supports. So it's the Lifestealer plus Winter Wyvern lane. Lance, I think in this circumstance, you will have to watch your use of Time Walk. As long as whenever the Arctic Burn is up and it's going to blast Lance, you have to be conscious about your spacing. That is something you will have to sort of deal with. You've got Yamate to help relieve that pressure. And Bombi's still pretty slow. So Yamate can keep playing that Janada game, steal some gold off, and continue to get some steady EXP.
Even Lance getting involved now, trying to get some bashes. Does get one on Rossman. Yamate going to move back in, take more gold away from the poor Lifestealer. And that's going to really suck as well. Like, when you're not really CSing very nicely, and he's taking more gold away from you, it's just such an annoying hero to play against, the support bounty hunter. But I do miss it, if I'm honest, John. I miss playing support bounty.
You could play it. It has a positive win rate in pubs, I'll be frank with you.
Does it really?
Yeah, at last I checked, in Divine it should be at around 50 plus. And lower levels it's like 54-ish, 52 maybe if it's stabilized. So it's in a good spot. We just don't see it in pro games, but Yamate is really leveraging it. He just keeps going in. There's no way they can punish. Like, they just don't have Arctic Burn. There's no man on Bombi. You don't expect Rusman to really open wounds the bounty hunter. He is too quick, so that's just something they have to kind of watch out for. 496. This also kind of ties into rotation to power runes. Like, Yamate just gets to run down with the invis, and they should be able to find this.
He's going to contest here with Hung. He'll wait to see if he can give it over to his Mid-Earth Spirit, and he will take it. Hung will find out the hard way after using his last bottle charge. It's just a nice little efficiency play out of Yamate, even just waiting for that last bottle charge to be expended first before he takes it off the Pugna. Into Rossman again to take more gold away. Poor Lifestealer. Just can't catch a break. 13 last hits on Rossman. It's getting worse as time goes on, John.
No, it's not getting any better. And I have to say, this Arcane and Yamate keeps his Janada uptime a lot better at level 1, so you've got to contend with that. Again, they just can't punish because you went Rage. You don't have open wounds to slow. You're just kind of stuck in an awkward spot as this Lifestealer. The top lane, though, is looking a bit better.
Oh, look at Yamate. He's going to try and steal the bounty away from Hung again. And he does not get it. Hung does pick it up. Bombi will now figure out that Yamate was there the whole time. We'll cop a bit of harassment on the way out. But I love the fact that Yamate is trying to make this Pugna's life as hard as possible.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. You know, take away the value from the bottle, try to slow down Hung. If you do allow the Pugna to run away, you're looking at your mid-tier ones potentially being forced down early, and there's that life drain. It looks pretty atrocious. It's like he's vomiting.
It does look like he's vomiting. Oh, goodness me.
Oh, boy.
Top lane.
Up top?
Yeah, Red's in trouble. Nice speed back into that tier 1 tower, and Hung's going to TP in. But the best they're probably going to get is Mosin, unless the life drain does last out long enough. But Candy Loon is going to run out of range. Does have a TP as well. And roll in from DDZ. He's going to start another team fight. He'll get that BB. Hung will try and fight back with the life drain, but DDZ will just wait patiently. He'll just wait it out. There's your cookie coming in now with the roll in onto Hung and the Scatter Blast and the refresh on the Magnetize. They'll try to Cold Embrace. It will not do enough, but maybe Bombi can try to get a clean up here. Problem is, that Magnetize continues to refresh. Red eventually is going to be able to get Candloon, and Bombi almost goes down to the Scatter Blast damage, but he will survive.
You're still really happy with New. You drag so many heroes up top once more. You still find the kills in the end. You do trade Candy away, but I mean, you've killed off Hung and you killed off Red. You're definitely on the up end there on that trade. And you give Yamate space down mid. So he's going to have some EXP to grow into that level 6. The 1v1 lane for Rusman and Lance is still very favored for Lance. They need to find something here, 496. They need to just get some farm going on one hero. Maybe play around with a spike that you have on Hung. Try to melt the tower down, but they're just not quite in position to really maximize any of this yet.
No, they're not. It's only getting worse as well. Like, your Pugner hasn't found a kill yet. He's died once. And it's right for Pugner, you generally want to be able to snowball out of control. This is one of the power spikes of the Pugner. he TPs, but the Faded Brooch was left in the neutral camp, but he needs to try and help out this top lane. They're going to go after that Bat Rider, but there's just no damage. That Life Drain does nothing, and now they're going to roll back in with DDZ onto Red. That'll be Red going down. Hung trying to Life Drain more, but Mosin is going to be fine, and Hung is going to be chased down by DDZ, and is also going to go down to Candy Loon. And of all things, the one hero they came to help out does survive, but it's your Pos 5 Disruptor.
Yeah, it's not a good look. I mean, right now they can at least just get some stacks going, try to make some farm happen in the jungle, but there's not much multi-stacks, and with the aggression of New and with this vision Yamate gives out, I'm sure they can really start to spot that out as well. They do manage to find a sentry, so Yamate gets to keep roaming in that triangle. Gonna be a good time for him. They've really maximized this bounty. 496, 3k behind, Mike, at the sub 10 minute mark. This is, I mean, it's not like it's completely unplayable, but even Mosin spots out these stacks, so they're aware, and they should be able to contest down the line.
Yeah, he's napalming them up right now. That's going to force another rotation in. Red's already there. They'll bring that BB. Hung's even going to rotate on the Pugner, and they will surely be able to get this Bat Rider. So, man, that Life Drain does look really weird.
It looks so bad. Why is it like that? It's... Oh, okay. It's fine. It's fine. They found a kill. 5-4. There's still a 4k lead here from New, and now they're forced to take these stacks. They've got to take it quick. They can't feed any of it towards their Life Stealer. Rusman's still lagging behind, and man, he is going for a Midas. Mike, this is going to be a slow one. If he does get full use of the Midas, though, down the line, then that's one way to play catch-up if the game does stall out. But this is not a good look. Lifestealer's a hero that wants to play fast. The Midas is going to offset his power spike.
Yeah, it is. It's... Honestly, I think if he does pick up that Midas, I don't know. I mean, you don't want to call it early, but it's really going to put them behind. Like, you're just going to play the farm game with this kind of draft from 496. It's not like Lifestealer's a Spectre, where you can go into that late game and just ensure that you win the game because you went that far into the game. So, top lane, that BB almost goes down to Mosin. He'll right, he'll glimpse back Mosin. Bot lane, Yamate in a spot of danger here, but here comes DDZ with the Magnetize and the roll-in. He will still let Yamate die, but he refreshes the Magnetize between all three. Now Lance jumps in for a two-man chrono. Bombi has the curse. He will commit it onto DDZ. Hung's going to come back in. We'll see if they can fight this one out as they do get a nice spear off, but the Mortimer's Kisses start to fly in. DDZ, he will barely die in the Earth Spirit. Hung will go down, however, on the Pugner, and Lance, he's just going to clean up. Bombi gonna get bashed, he's gone. That BB, he's the only one to survive on the Disruptor. That is a very rough time if you are 496.
Oh yeah, it's going kind of south here for 496. Really big kills coming out for Lance. I mean, they still find trades, so there is potential there, and New have to not slip up too much. But they're getting some steady farm. 5k lead now at the 10, 11 minute mark. I look at Candy Loon, Mike. He's 2 parts off the Ags. So you're going to have the Ags rush on that snap soon. You're going to have the initiation to get your Faces Void in a good spot. We've seen the combination with a Kisses Chrono. It's just devastating. And now, Yamate has track hub. So you can start racking on those track kills, and you've got to be very careful, 406, with trading like this, because they can start to widen that gap a bit more, although Mosin down bot.
In danger, but that's your Pos 5 Bat Rider we're talking about. And they have to commit Arena for it as well. Spear, not going to be out. They commit Static Storm on top. That is some desperation if I've seen some, John. It's I don't blame them, because he may have actually gotten away had they not done that. And, well, on the bright side, Yamate will also come in and die. So at least you get a bit of a bonus out of the Bounty Hunter. Not all too bad.
A bit reckless of Yamate just strolling up thinking he could snipe that BB. Good punishment. And this is where 496 can start to flex their muscles. They melt these towers fast. With everyone down, they're going to be able to find a tier 1 at the least. You don't have New in any position to really get a decent shove up. No movement down mid, so going to be a free tower for 496, evening out that map control. You got the safe spot to farm in now. It is a bit of recovery for them, but if the mid does get shoved in, I think they will have to defend. And New, they've just completely taken over the top jungle anyway.
They have. DDZ looking to roll in on Bombi. They want some track kills to go, and they'll get a silence and a slow with the Mortimer's Kisses to come, and they will just take the very safe option. In fact, never mind, because the roll-in is there from TDZ. He might regret that one, or he might just go back into Bombi, try to roll back into the Lifestealer.
Oh.
There's your chrono out from Lance, just holding two of them down. DDZ still stunning up Rusman. He just can't finish the kill. Red's trying to come in, but DDZ, he is safe. Now Lance just going to follow up. All these track kills going the way of New Esports. There is going to be a nice spear, however, but Candy, he has the double stun out with the cookie. Lance will survive, DDZ will survive, or maybe Lance won't. Hung, he'll get in with the life drain. Now back onto Candy Loon. Maybe they went a bit too far there from New Esports. But it won't matter, John, because the kills they're getting are worth track kills, so they're worth a lot more.
Yeah, they win out the trade, they get a lot more gold. Have to be cautious about how long these fights go. There's a lot of sustain from 496. Can't underestimate the effectiveness of that life drain, despite how hideous it is. They're going to need some sustain coming out here as well. There's that Midas for Usman. It is at around the 13.5-minute mark, so a bit slow, but this does give your Lifestealer a way of riding through, getting some steady gold up. And if Rusman is given some space here, he might be able to get some control back. We're seeing some issues with damage early on. They're going to need to itemize to counteract that. Lance, he's working towards an MKB. I think we have to see something like a mech from one of these supports. It doesn't look like they're really queuing up for that anytime soon, though. So they're going to have some durability issues for a while here, New. 496, their strength lies in prolonged fights. If they can keep drawing it out, they might be able to find more wins than one.
We'll see if they can. They are still 5k behind. You are still versing a Void and a Batrider late game. Just scares me a little bit when you look at the side of 496's draft.
Yeah, it does. And Candy, he's got the Ags, so he should be more scared now. 496, it's up.
No initiations, no problem. Candy's got it. See where he does get to use it first. It looks like they have spotted out Red, thanks to Yamate. Gets the track off. Red still sticking around for that bounty rune, but Yamate does just take it. The Cobble Up not going to quite make it, but Mosen wants the lasso out onto Red, but a nice spear out from Red. Still DDZ going to roll in now with the Boulder Smash. 496, they're not going to TP anyone up to help out. Red is just going to die. They were trying to smoke across the map, but nobody was there to be taken.
Yeah, it's another track kill you're giving out here, 496, so can be happy with that pickup, New. Just slowly and steadily building up their gold lead and still finding some really good farm. That MKB for Lance, he's just about 800 off the Demon Edge. So about 1,900 off overall. And once he's got that, should be a good time for the Void. They find a nice stack of Ancients as well, and a nice stack of large creeps. So you're losing out on some ground here, 496. They did stack that up for themselves to take, but when you rotate like that, you kind of give it away.
Just take all of them away. Mosen will start with the others. They get Lance really close to that MKB timing, and in fact, have they found Red again? Well, Yamate gonna avoid that spear. Lance doesn't seem like he wants to commit the chrono here on this Mars. They'd rather the lasso. While they were doing that, though, the mid-tier 1 tower did end up dropping to Hung, which is what you come to expect from a Pugna draft. And now they group up top lane, where they'll go for the arena. The spin into the arena onto Mosen, so he's just going to drop, and Yamate is also going to go down. New Esports, they've got to be careful about giving away kills like this. There's no need for it.
No, definitely not. A bit reckless of New. Still, they're trying to get that mid. Russman TP's in to get the deny off. Doesn't quite.
That was a nice kick away from DDZ. He'll make sure they can't get the deny off on that tier 1 tower. And so the map evens out quite a bit. It's only a one tower advantage here for New Esports, and that was the bot tier 1, which really doesn't mean too much anyway. Lance, again, is going to have that MKB up in just a second. Whereas you look at Russman, he has something on the courier. He's going to have the armlet now. So maybe you could fight back.
Yeah, it gives you options. I think New, if they want to fight, they have to jump Hung first. That life drain's causing a lot of issues. And
Yamate's just way too far forward. Like, he's trying to get some D wards out, but he's all alone in doing so. He's going to die again on the bounty.
You have to be careful. Every single kill counts here. You're giving ways for Risman to bounce back, giving them some snowball effect as well. Temper back the aggression just a tad. And again, you have to hunt Hung. You need to take that Pugna out. He's been a major issue in the sustained game here. Been too much to handle.
DDZ gonna get started onto Bombi. Gets the silence off, but Arena is gonna be there. But Red, he missed the spear. Static Storm, however, dropped onto Lance with the life drain out from Hung. They might get the Void, and they do get him. DDZ gonna roll out, but gets glimpsed back. Tries to kick away Rossman and roll away from the life drain. They never really got to commit that chrono either. So that BB did have the Static Storm up and running.
Yeah, it's, again, hasty from New. They're being punished for really not getting their positioning right. Gotta line it up a bit more, 496. It's been the same combo from them, right? It's been the Arena into Static Storm, and that's just enough. I think New Esports has to really be a bit smarter now about their plays there. And start lining up their openings. They do have this blink up in Mosin. So they do have the blink lasso ready to go. I think that's one way to break this initiation up. And perhaps start to find those pickoffs they're looking for. Still maintaining 7k lead, 15 to 15. 496 has evened it out. But there is a smoke here from New.
Up towards that top die jungle again. Maybe even the Roshan. They have the MKB coming out onto Lance now, but they need to wait for that courier to be there. Yamate, slow it up with the open wounds, but there's your lasso out from Mosin. Now Lance commits a chrono, but it's only onto the Wyvern. Still, they'll take the kill, a 1-for-1. And now he'll have his MKB up. But Hung is going to come in. Gobble up is there from DDZ into the roll. They're going to keep chasing. Who they found there? It is going to be Red. DDZ continues onto Hung, gets the silence off. They want to try and close this gap. Rasman is there to try and help out on the life stealer, but there's really not much he can do. So Hung going to get caught out by the roll of DDZ. Will end up dying.
And that's a big win here for 496. That's the kind of fight we were looking for. Not quite staggered in the way we expected, but comes out in the end. They managed to keep Hung down, and they get Red as well. So they miss out on, say, Risman, but they've got that 8k lead, 18 to 16. They start to look at the Roche. With its MKB and Mom on Lance, this should go fairly quick, 496. They can't really allow this one to go. They do have like a ward watching that pit. They should know it's happening, but I don't know if they can make it in time. They're not quite making their way down to the pit yet.
Quick Roshan out. Lance does get the Aegis. Gobble up is there, out from Yamate onto Bombi. Bombi's going to be alright, but he is going to be surrounded. He'll try to Arctic Burn, but the cookie up the high ground. However, Static Storm is there onto Candaloon with the life train now. And he is kind of stuck up there. Tries for the TP, but gets glimpsed back. Even the spear won't take him down. The God's Rebuke not going to knock him down. He just can't get off. He'll cookie down himself onto the Winter Wyvern, and Bombi does eventually die. But Candaloon may be going a bit too far here. I mean, come on. I'm not sure how worth you'd call that. It's just the Winter Wyvern.
Yeah, it was a track kill though. I think might have tunnel vision too hard there. It's pretty surprising that the spear couldn't knock. The God Rebuke could not. I'm not sure what's up with that one, but it is what it is. New Esports 1-for-1. The lead drops down to 7k because of that, though. So 496 definitely happy with that sort of trade. You set up themselves up nicely to keep waiting out. There's some progress being made by Risman. does have the Desolator up, and they're going to play with Red. He's going to be the vehicle. No blink yet, but if they run into someone, that could be a very dead hero if you're not careful.
Into the mid lane, they want to try and fight this one out. DDZ very far forward, trying to go after that BB. Red getting the glimpse vision for DDZ, but he will BKB up and now roll back in. Who's he going to go after though? Bombi being very, very sneaky on top of that cliff with the Winter's Curse, but DDZ going to jump straight on top. They do have the arena out, however. He is kind of stuck there. Bombi is just going to sit around and wait for his time to shine. Magnetize still being refreshed, but Bombi is eventually going to die. Still DDZ. Now being glimpsed back. There's your Chrono out. They caught Hung on the Pugna, and now it's on to that BB on the Disruptor. Does go down. Rossman been left alone. He'll also die. A triple kill out for Lance. And Yamate will continue the chase onto Red. Spear won't land from Red.
Oh.
Gobble up is there from onto Mosin. Red will use him up. They're still going to chase though. Flame Break is enough for DDZ to get the roll on. They do completely wipe them. Full team wipe out for New Esports.
That is a lot of gold. 5 track kills, Mike. Yamate being very efficient. Unfortunate that it's only level 1 track. Would love to have him at level 12, but makes no difference to New. They maintain the 13k lead. There are TPs in to defend the tier 2 though, but not sure how much they can really do here.
BKB, Lance. It's going to be alright. Have his 10-second charge now up on the Void. So he can fight without the Chrono now, but you obviously don't want to if you can avoid it. The 14k net worth lead, New Esports are looking really good in this matchup, sitting at a 93% chance of winning this one. And knocking 496 out. Mosin doesn't have Lasso yet, but jumps in onto Red. Now Lance to follow. Hung, going to turn back around now with the Nether Ward and the live frame, but DDZ is going to be around to go back onto Red. Now the Static Storm going to be whiffed with the arena, both just not going anywhere. Lasso is out onto Rossman, which will allow Lance to come in with the damage onto the Life Stealer. There was a nice curse out from Bombi. It isn't going to mean too much. Yamate at least does die, and Rossman is still alive, and so does DDZ on the Earth Spirit. So a 2-for-2 trade. They are still trying, but the Decrepify is out on the Void, and Lance will not pop that BKB. Bombi does TP out on the Wyvern.
It's not the best trades for New. They were fighting without Chrono. Perhaps waiting for the BKB use with the Chrono first here for Lance. Still some good punishment for 496. That does keep them in the game, although Hung...
Born out. He has the life drain, but the Mortimer's Kisses to come in. Mosin just running around in circles. And does eventually get killed off by the Nether Blast anyway. But, I mean, it's worth it for the mid-Pugna kill. Always will be.
Yep, it's slightly more gold for Hung, but again, offset by his death. So not the ideal here for 496. They still stay in the game, though. They've still got their tier 2s up and running, so their defense is actually going remarkably well, considering this deficit. I think New Esports now, they have to play with Lance while this Aegis is up, but it's not going to be up. It's going to expire, like, literally right now, maybe in a second or two. So you're not going to have that second life. You got to be more cautious with Lance now. And they're just going to go back to farming for a bit more. I think maybe considering the failed push, they might just wait for the next Roche, which does give some time for Risman to build up. Again, his Midas buildup is paying off in a big way. He's just 2,000 gold behind Lance. Again, considering that everything has been flowing in through track kills, Risman's actually doing a good job playing this farm game as well.
He is. Another smoke up, New. They have the Chrono this time. And Lasso not out from Mosin yet. Red is still going to try and walk away out of this. Yamate, they'll roll in and they'll take the kill. They'll save the Lasso for the next hero they run into. While that's happening, that BB is pushing up the bot wave. Trying to make it a bit harder for New to think about going into that tier 2 mid tower. And they will not. They'll just keep roaming through the dire jungle and seeing if they can find anyone else. They might run into Hung. Take the mid tier 2. Yamate does kill off Bombi, and now Hung gonna barely avoid getting chronoed there by Lance, but DDZ gonna roll straight in with the boulder smash to slow him up, with the magnetize and the roll in. Lance will take the kill, and now Rusman gonna get caught by the chrono. That was not the TP he wanted. Bombi will buy back to try and save, and actually does with the cold embrace. That BB has the static storm. They can drop it all down onto this void. Lance, he pops his BKB, going back after Rusman. Here comes DDZ again with the Mortimer's Kisses to fly in. This life stealer is so low and will finally die, and 496, they are getting wiped. It is only that BB that will survive. Into the tier 3 towers it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard defense. You don't have static storm, and they're just going to keep hunting like this. And it's not a defense you can really hold out on. Maybe when you have Hung back in, you can try, but you don't have your ults. It's really just going to be a tall task here. But fortunately, they only have one set of racks that can be taken out. They're saved by their tier 2s. They do get to fight for another day, but it's starting to get a bit dicey. Oh,
gobble up. No, they miss out. They wanted to try for the cheekier kind of entrance into the next team fight, but they don't get it. Still, no other racks is being taken. There are 2 tier 2 towers standing.
Yeah, it's still really complicated for 496, and
they found a disruptor. That BB gonna go down. Unfortunate.
Very. I mean, Yamate is really just racking in track. So he's building up at a nice pace. They've got the pipe already up and running on him. He's got the Vlads on top. He's got so much room on this sport.
Lasso is out onto Red, trying to get him onto that high ground, but no, they'll go for the low ground fight. Arena is going to be dropped, but Lance, he has the BKB, but the curse is going to be out from Bombi into the media hammer. No, the cookie stunning up Bombi. They will clean up Red. They get Bombi as well on the Wyvern, and now it's onto Rosman, who's just trying to get out of this one. But it is looking pretty hard for him as he is going to be surrounded. He'll rage up, continue to just chase down Mosin, but he'll force down to the low ground, and he is just dead. This game is looking pretty tough. They're 28k net worth behind. DDZ going to roll back in and see if he can find anyone else. Dota Plus is at 99%.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for 496 to turn it around now. I think the initiation's falling a bit flat. It's been much more reactive. Lance is really big in this space of Void. They do have Chrono for the high ground. He's got the Scotty up as well. And 496, this is probably going to be one, maybe close to their last defense. If they can somehow stall it off, if they can get the Arena plus the Static Storm going once more, you might be able to do it. But it has to be perfect. The execution has to be on point, and new esports, they're not making it easy. You have to work to get that initiation on.
Whoa.
There is, wow, that's a desperation play there. That's a naked Ags now for that BB.
He literally sold everything else to get this Ags up. That is tough. But it's the only way of winning they see. Only chance they have of winning, I guess, for 496. It is tough with all these BKBs up. It's going to be even tougher once this Roshan goes down for new esports, but they're trying to get there in time to fight this Roshan out. DDZ, he's going to be there to break the smoke, however. And Lance has basically already got it, but they do jump in for a lasso now, and they caught out the Pugner. Lance, Chrono is going to be there onto 2 heroes. Winter's Curse is going to slow things down, but they've already lost Red. With the Static Storm now being dropped from that BB, maybe they get the Void, but he has a secondary life. Yamate, he gets a double. This game looks to be over. Rusman's falling. Now they've got the last one. It is going to be the Disruptor, and they call it. It is a rather unfortunate way for 496 to have to leave the tournament, having 2 stand-ins, but that is how it ends for them.
Yeah, new esports, to be fair to them, again, last time they met up against 496, which was yesterday, they did get a 2-0 as well. So I think it's more that new esports understood how 496 plays. They had really good drafts around it. It's still rather unfortunate. This is not the way any team wants to go out. You know, it's a tough one to adjust on the fly, having Risman step up. to the plate to cover. But, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the end of their journey here in new esports, though. If they keep that consistency, and this is the biggest issue of that lineup, right? The consistency. If they play this good down the line, if they're on point, I think they've got a really good chance to climb far. But they have to be on point every time, and we'll see if they hammer in that consistency as the days go on, Mike.
Well, that is it for tonight, John. Of course, we have another pretty explosive bunch of series on tomorrow. We'll be starting with Boom Esports versus TNC Predator, followed by Neon Esports. Oh, excuse me, I better update this bracket first before I go on. So I was right about TNC versus Boom Esports, but the second one is going to be Motivate Trust versus Neon. And then after that, we should have another.
It should be New versus the loser of the Boom versus TNC.
Right.
On the lower.
Right. All right. Well, with that, we better go to bed, John. We'll be back tomorrow for some more great SEA Dota. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you same time tomorrow.